Despite meeting in 1970, Prince Charles and Camilla did not tie the knot until 2005. In the midst of all that, there was a princess, hidden romances, and love letters. A little over 30 years after they first became together, they finally tied the knot. In that case, isn't this sufficient for a romance? As a result, why is it that reports of divorce are suddenly popular? Rumors of the royal couple's impending divorce have circulated due to accusations of betrayal by the Queen, which have been confirmed by an inside source. Would this actually be the case? Or are we simply dealing with wild guesses? Stay tuned as we unveil additional details about their relationship in the years leading up to the treachery. Prince Charles and Camilla's love story. When the King and Camilla first met, they were both 22 years old. Lucia Santa Cruz, a common friend who had been one of Charles's initial romantic interests since they first met at Cambridge University, introduced the two. The two were going to click right away, sparking an immediate attraction. Using the line, "My great-grandmother was the mistress of your great-great-grandfather," Camilla introduced herself to the future monarch. It was rumored that the youthful prince wooed Camilla with long-winded love letters and late-night phone conversations. He cherished her enjoyment of country living, complete with horses and hunting. They kept in touch until their final weekend spent together in December 1972. "I will not see her again for 8 months," Charles wrote to his great-uncle Louis Mountbatten, also known as Uncle Dickie to members of the royal family. Charles departed to serve 8 months in the Royal Navy. Camilla was engaged to someone else when he came back. 7 years Camilla's senior. The Army cavalry officer had dated Princess Anne, the sister of Prince Charles. The Prince of Wales, devastated by the news, spends 2 days and nights alone in his cabin, not even coming out to eat. Yet though he hadn't yet proposed, Camilla's family forced the matter by publishing an engagement announcement, which led to Andrew Parker Bowles becoming Camilla's first husband. The pair tied the knot in July of that same year. Tom and Laura, the couple's 2 children, are a blessing. Camilla and Charles stayed friends. Tom was given Charles as a godfather. The Irish Republican Army assassinated Uncle Dickie in August 1979. Charles reportedly ran to Camilla for comfort. Specifically, "Since I have been visiting Canada for the past 40 years. The only person he could really share anything with when he learned about the incident was Camilla." It was also stated that, since the death of his great-uncle, Camilla had been his closest companion and soul partner. This second relationship with Camilla continued until 1981, when Charles and Diana were engaged. Prince Charles and Camilla loved engagements through the years. Despite the popular belief that King Charles and Queen Camilla are soulmates, the couple had a number of romantic relationships prior to their eventual meeting in the 1970s. However, my spouse is quite skilled at doing all the voices. And after the royals' divorce from Princess Diana, they began dating formally. According to the Sunday Times, Charles had a reputation for being encouraged to sow his wild oats by his great-uncle Lord Mountbatten. He also reportedly engaged in a string of romantic relationships with well over 20 mostly titled aristocratic girls, who the media dubbed Charlie's Angels before he married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981. He said it would be hard to find a spouse, but he planned to get married by the age of 30. This is obviously incredibly tough because, as you have to keep in mind, if you marry in my position, your spouse may end up being queen someday. In his 1969 TV debut, he stated in an interview with the BBC, "Watch to see the woman who, back in 2005, turned the king's head before he walked down the aisle with Camilla." Cruz Lucia, Charles's first girlfriend, Lucia Santa Cruz, met him at Trinity College, Cambridge. She is the daughter of the previous Chilean ambassador living in London. Charles was 5 years Charles's junior. His biographer, Sally Bedell Smith, claims that she was the first true love of his life. Lucia was the one who first introduced Charles to Camilla Shand. It is unclear why it terminated. Next is Davina Sheffield, Samantha Cameron's cousin and the granddaughter of the First Lord McGowan. Though it was reported that she had an affair with Charles in 1976, the connection ended abruptly when an ex-boyfriend revealed his romance with Davina. making her an unfit candidate, according to royal author Penny Junor. Watch on to find out who Charles's next romantic interest is. Lady Jane Wellesley. Prince Charles and Lady Jane Wellesley, the 8th Duke of Wellington's daughter, had a love relationship in 1977. It is alleged that Prince Charles's extramarital affair with Camilla Shand is what brought an end to their emotional relationship. In her public remarks about their relationship, she called Prince Charles a considerate and kind companion. She also expressed empathy for the breakup of their relationship, given that he had already begun to feel something for Camilla. Lady Amanda Knatchbull. In 1980, Charles is said to have proposed to Lady Amanda Knatchbull, who was his second cousin and the granddaughter of Lord Mountbatten, while he was still looking for a wife. It is said that around 1974, he became interested. Of all his girlfriends, she was the liveliest. Robert Lacey, a royal novelist, claims that the prince had a great affection for her. As time went on, the two cousins grew closer, gaining respect and a connection that continues to this day. According to reports, Prince Philip was eager for the union to succeed, but the timing was off. Prior to this, Amanda had recently lost both her grandfather and her younger brother Nicholas to IRA assassinations, and it was said that she was unable to cope with the thought of being in the royal limelight to such an extent. Sabrina Guinness. In 1979, Charles fell deeply in love with Sabrina Guinness. It was said that he was enamored with her and that he even drove her to Balmoral to meet the family. A few royals said the partnership was serious. Nevertheless, it is reported that Charles abruptly ended it after 9 months because the Queen was offended by Sabrina's previous promiscuous behavior. Lady Spencer. Mutual friends introduced Prince Charles to Lady Sarah Spencer, and the two fell in love. Many believe he ought to have wed her. The reason for the purported termination of the affair is that Lady Sarah was candidly discussing their relationship with the press, which Charles found extremely offensive. Charles's focus would later shift to her 16-year-old younger sister. Now let's discuss Camilla's romantic interests. To find out, keep watching. Prior to settling down with Prince Charles, she had a number of romantic partners. She dated Kevin Burke initially. I regret to say that I have become into. Burke is thought to have first laid eyes on a 17-year-old debutante named Camilla Shand in 1965. Despite being a few years older, he found her attractive. It had all the glitz and intensity of the era, even if it was only supposed to last a year or so. Years later, Burke spoke of his connection with Camilla, stating that on the weekends, there were a few dances in the country and 2 or 3 cocktail parties to go every night. It was, he remarked, the most fun. He had the most enjoyable and wonderful partner one could ask for. He claimed it was the most enjoyable time, and I had the most enjoyable companion imaginable. However, Camilla's focus shifted and she became interested in Andrew Parker Bowles, a young military man. The peculiar occurrence of Camilla and Prince Charles's relationship over time. Her romance with Prince Charles continued even after she married the military commander. Camilla's involvement in Prince Charles's union. When Lady Diana Spencer was visiting her family's castle, Althorpe House, in 1977, Prince Charles first met her. Diana was 16 years old and Charles was 39 when they first met. They began dating in 1981, and in February of the same year, they declared their engagement. On July 29, 1981, the couple got married in London's St. Paul's Cathedral. The wedding was widely reported worldwide. Prince William and Prince Harry. The couple's 2 kids were born. Over time, cheating caused the marriage to crumble. This occurred as a result of Prince Charles's renewed liaison with Camilla Parker Bowles, who went on to file for divorce from her first husband in 1995. Diana believed that while Prince Charles was attempting to hide the affair, Camilla was strangling their marriage. Diana, broken-hearted, could already sense the affair. Diana went on to confront Camilla, telling her, "I just want you to know that I know what's going on between you and Charles," when she approached her at a gathering. According to Princess Diana, Camilla responded, "You have everything you could possibly want. Yet you have 2 gorgeous children and all the men in the world are falling in love with you. What more are you looking for?" Princess Diana resumed the fight by telling Camilla,
"I want my husband."
Diana apologetically said to Camilla,
"Don't treat me like an idiot."
"I know what's going on. I know it must be horrible for the two of you." Following years of separation, the princess then disclosed that Prince Charles and Princess Diana's divorce was officially formalized on August 28, 1996. Diana was granted the title Diana Princess of Wales, along with a flat sum payment. On August 31, 1997, Diana sadly lost her life in a car accident while pursuing paparazzi in Paris. Millions of people grieved for Prince Charles as he flew to Paris to return to London with her remains. The next events were astonishing. Watch on as we explore more of Prince Charles and Camilla's love tale. The unstoppable pair through the years. Following Diana's passing, Prince Charles was tasked with attempting to mend his public persona and his marriage to Camilla Parker Bowles. Despite the fact that she had been a part of Charles's life for decades, their connection had mostly been marred by scandal and negative public perception in the years after Diana's passing. Their bond endured the test despite all the upheaval, and they started appearing in public more frequently together in the early 2000s. Since many still saw Diana as their ideal, the British public's initial response to their relationship was divided. They recognized Camilla as the second woman who broke Charles and Diana's marriage in part by entering it. However, popular perception started to shift over time. As the years passed, it became increasingly evident that Charles and Camilla were in love, and their shared dedication to serving the public, particularly through charitable endeavors related to healthcare, literacy, and the environment, helped to improve their reputation with most people. Once vilified by the media as a predatory and exploitative mistress, Camilla gained a sympathetic reputation as a person who had endured tribulations and supported Charles through good times and bad. You investigate the universal principle and how nature functions. Queen Elizabeth II found it difficult to balance her responsibilities as a mother and the supreme governor of the Church of England because of her son Prince Charles's relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. She was concerned since the Church of England had a tradition of forbidding divorced people from being married again, and this prohibition was strengthened if one of the spouses involved engaged in adulterous relationships. The Queen was thus faced with a moral and religious conundrum as a result of Charles and Camilla's relationship. At first, it was reported that she disapproved of it, particularly given how devoted people were to Diana. She was afraid of what people would say about the monarchy and how their reputation would suffer, along with Prince Charles. Camilla was also prohibited from attending public events by the Queen. The Queen was also concerned about repairing the monarchical system's reputation, which had been damaged by the scandals surrounding Charles and Diana's union. Prince Charles and Camilla have had many ups and downs in their relationship, but his commitment to her has never faltered. Beyond that, they had the opportunity to participate in other charitable activities with topics they were believed to be passionate about. The two's partnership was noteworthy, nevertheless, mainly for the way they worked their way through the complexities of royal life while upholding their moral principles. Charles and Camilla maintained low profiles in their public duties, putting their heads down for the work they believed in, despite all the criticism. In general, their connection was strengthened by their public ease with their positions within the royal family. After being maligned by the media, Camilla started to gain popularity due to her genuine demeanor and dedication to her humanitarian endeavors. At last, Charles could seem more sympathetic and approachable, with a partner who shared his commitment to supporting him in realizing his future goals. Even though their romance gained acceptance over time, Prince Charles and Camilla's journey to marriage was more difficult because of the complexities of royal procedure and the demands placed on the monarch. These elements had an impact on the Queen's final decision to approve Charles and Camilla's marriage. First, it was acknowledged that Charles was the heir apparent and that the monarchy's future depended heavily on his stability and happiness. Second, in the years following Diana's passing, the general public's perception of divorce and remarriage has softened. However, as public sentiment toward Charles and Camilla warmed up over time, the Queen had second thoughts. She became aware of her son's affection for Camilla and the stability that their relationship had given Charles. The Queen saw that Charles needed a friend who would stick with him for the next years of his reign, and Camilla was more than willing to fulfill that role. Prince Charles and Camilla's wedding. The Queen gave Charles and Camilla permission to get married in 2005 after giving it careful thought and consulting with advisors. The low-key nature of the civil wedding at Windsor Guildhall was fitting, given the delicate nature of their relationship. The fact that the Queen and other members of other royal families attended the blessing, which took place in St. George's Chapel, was more significant. Many perceived Camilla's official admittance into the royal family circle as being somewhat formal. When the Queen made a toast at the couple's wedding celebration at Windsor Castle, she signaled the public's support. She discussed their relationship's horrible roadblocks in front of 800 people. In addition, she expressed her pride and good wishes for them after saying, "They have succeeded. My son is safe and sound at home with his sweetheart." This decision to permit them marriage had conciliatory overtones, given the public's continued affinity to the late Princess Diana and their memories of her. Camilla assumed the title of Duchess of Cornwall rather than Princess of Wales. It was also decided that Camilla would continue to be known as Princess Consort, rather than Queen when Charles ascended to the throne. The decision was made in order to accommodate public sensibilities and allow the monarchy to proceed without reopening historical scars. The union of Charles and Camilla was a watershed in the British monarchy's history. It demonstrated how the institution might adapt to changing societal mores and the Queen's practical attitude to her regal position. The marriage highlights human humanity within an institution that is typically perceived as distant and impersonal by demonstrating personal contentment and stability within it. Public feelings about the union of Prince Charles and Camilla. With the passage of time, public perception of Prince Charles and Camilla's marriage connection has drastically changed. I hate to say that I've turned in the same way societal attitudes on unions, dissolution of marriage, and the establishment of royal families have evolved. Early in their relationship, the majority of the public felt negatively about them. Camilla was held accountable by many for Charles and Diana's marriage disintegrating. Because of the widespread media attention and enduring popular love for Diana, it was first difficult for people to accept Camilla as Charles's legitimate partner. But popular attitude changed as Charles and Camilla's relationship developed and became more well-known. The royal couple has attempted to appear more human through their understated public persona and unwavering support of charitable organizations and occasions. It was partially a question of how Camilla got people to care about her modest demeanor and sincere efforts on behalf of issues like animal welfare, literacy, and aiding victims of domestic abuse. The marriage of Charles and Camilla in 2005 brought about a radical shift in public perception. There was more understanding that Charles and Camilla were committed to each other and that their relationship was built on a strong and enduring bond, even though resistance remained widespread, especially among those who had a positive recollection of Diana. Their persistent involvement in public affairs and events, together with their charitable deeds, contributed to the couple's image restoration. It is impossible to overstate the impact that the media has on how the general public views particular people. In step with the public's changing views, the media's portrayal of Camilla changed over time from that of a home wrecker to that of a likable character. Public appearances and documentary interviews served to soften the couple's image and portray them as a secure and loving pair. Though there are surely those who disagree, the public's perception of Charles and Camilla's marriage is largely positive these days. At least some respect and acceptance have been given because of the lengthy commitment, the couple's bond, and their community service. The public has accepted Charles and Camilla's union as a normal next step in the lives of two broken individuals who have endured adversity and weathered it together, even though Diana's legacy still casts a shadow over everything. 70 years before, at his mother's coronation, Charles had worn the identical crown. Camilla was crowned using Queen Mary's crown, which had been reset with Queen Elizabeth's jewels. After years of gradual acceptance, Camilla was granted the title of Queen Consort, and cautiously, public opinion was being formed. At first, it was proposed that she adopt the title Princess Consort as a token of honor for Diana and any recollections that might be sensitive. The people became more at ease as the years went by. I regret to inform you that since lockdown, I have turned into... Additionally, Camilla's dedication to her family and her extensive philanthropic activity gained recognition. It was soon evident that she was a perfect fit for the title of queen. Charles and Camilla would surely find themselves navigating a contemporary monarchy amid changing sands in a world on the move as king and queen consort, shared ideals and, thus, a comprehension of public duty, including all the responsibilities and restricted privacy that go along with it. They concentrated on topics that were most important to them as a group, ranging from social justice and cultural heritage preservation to environmental protection and climate change mitigation. It was remarkable to have Camilla by Charles's side when he assumed the throne. It stood for far more within the monarchical system. Her appointment as queen consort served symbolic functions, signifying the development of the royal family's standing and the institution's ongoing flexibility in response to shifting social norms and expectations. It also emphasized the value of resiliency and the potential for personal development. These are the traits that Charles and Camilla have carried through life. From a different perspective, though, a change of power represented a chance. Even though Charles and Camilla's relationship had endured over the years, it was unquestionably positive that such a crucial component of any royal union appeared stable and offered a solid basis for their new duties. Stated differently, they would have accepted the task of keeping the best aspects of the past while modernizing the monarchy in order to continue being relevant to the people. Keep reading to learn about a recent development regarding King Charles and Queen Camilla's relationship that might shock you to your core. Divorce rumors amid royal scandals. King Charles and Camilla the Queen. How fascinating their love story has been, and how resilient it has endured over time. Seldom will you anticipate a break-in. Rumor has it, though, that the smooth wall is now cracked. This further reveals that their connection might not be all that dissimilar from regular relationships in the general public. Furthermore, this demonstrates that they are also people with emotional outbursts at any time. In their relationship, Queen Camilla is accusing King Charles of being the one who caused the rift in their union, and the one who is now widening it between them. This is from those who are close to them. The king is displeased with Queen Camilla's actions. King Charles III is being pushed to the breaking point by Queen Camilla's actions. Not only is the royal advisor and the media discussing it, but a close assistant to Queen Camilla has also spoken out about it, placing the queen consort in a difficult situation. This source validates the allegations of discord between the pair, and we're going to spill the beans on the shocking reason why. Is King Charles being misled by Queen Camilla? Continue watching to learn more. There are tales of a recent incident that deeply unsettled the British royal family on an emotional level. It is said that King Charles III detests Queen Camilla's association with her former spouse. What is now more noteworthy, though, is the statement made by a former Buckingham assistant. Anytime Charles III finds out Camilla is seeing her ex, he normally becomes enraged. Apart from them, I cannot recall anyone else. It is reported that the gentleman causes King Charles to erupt with rage. Thus, Queen Camilla seems to be oblivious to the resentment and irritation. King Charles III, her spouse, is not amused by this attitude. These are the rumors circulating inside Buckingham Palace. Some say King Charles may consider divorcing at any time due to these annoyances. Some argue that their arguments are merely typical couple arguments, and that they will get used to their new positions as England's king and queen. Despite the diversity of viewpoints on this issue, one thing is certain. The reason for the royal family's dilemma is that Queen Camilla and her ex-husband had a close friendship. An ex-assistant to the Queen notes that this could have more ramifications down the road. We all know King Charles III can be calm and patient, the aide continued. However, They claim that Buckingham trembles in anger. But Camilla had two well-known adulteries with her ex-husband, Andrew Parker, during their marriage. Camilla cheated on Charles, and Andrew was as ill-suited to being pursued, having multiple extramarital affairs. King Charles has always had Camilla as a pillar of strength. Andrew still treats Charles with deference. He even attended the coronation of Charles III. Is it possible that the king's anger stems from his perception that Camilla was close to her previous romantic partners? There may be more to this connection than meets the eye. For now, everything is still hypothetical. Only time will tell. What does the future hold for the royal family while the scandal carries on? Royal protocols for heir to the British thrones. Tradition is deeply ingrained in the British monarchy, and the position of the heir apparent is situated smack dab in the heart of this intricate web of rituals and protocols. An important member in the succession line is Prince George of Wales, who is the current monarch. It is he who personifies the future of the royal family. The Duke of Cambridge and the Duchess of Cambridge welcomed their first child, Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, into the world. Given that he is the eldest son of the Prince and Princess of Wales, he is the second in line to the throne, following in the footsteps of his grandfather, King Charles III. The Prince of Wales was a boy who was both inquisitive and active. Sports, aviation, and wildlife would be among the subjects that he would be particularly interested in. When someone is the heir apparent, they are entitled to a lengthy list of responsibilities and protocols that the monarchy must follow in order to maintain its dignity and continuity. Prince George is prepared to assume his future job with elegance and consideration because of the rituals that he has been put through. The protocols include a wide range of matters that are associated with royal life, including public appearances, educational responsibilities, and other related matters. Although Prince George was only a toddler at the time, he was thrust into the public eye through carefully orchestrated public appearances, most notably when he accompanied his parents to a large number of important engagements. His participation in such engagements is intended to instill in him a feeling of duty and etiquette, as well as to familiarize him with the demands of royal life. Every aspect of the young Prince George's outings, from his wardrobe to the time of his activities, is meticulously planned and executed in accordance with the standards that have been established for royal engagements. Education is one of the most important components in the process of getting ready for royal duties. This school, which is attended by Prince George, is the very definition of academic brilliance and royal formality. The educational program that he is currently enrolled in is designed to provide him with an introduction to the monarchy, British history, and international events throughout his life. His education will be supplemented by private tutors and exposure to royal tasks in a manner that is relatively controlled and age-appropriate. This is in addition to the standard topics that are required of every student, and he will have acquired the proper manners of a prince. Courtesy is of the utmost significance in the realm of royalty. In the course of his education, Prince George acquired a comprehensive understanding of royal etiquette, including the proper way to address dignitaries, the significance of timeliness, and the level of decorum that must be displayed in both public and private settings. He would also learn the many customs that are associated with the monarchy, such as maintaining composure and calmness, as well as proper behavior for formal occasions. Prince George is known for doing a great deal more than merely making appearances. On a regular basis, he engages in symbolic actions that serve to validate his position within the royal family. This involves taking part in ceremonies or activities that are emblematic of the legacy and values of the monarchy, as well as developing his relationship with the general people and the tradition of the monarchy. In spite of the fact that Prince George is making public appearances as part of his preparation, it is of the utmost significance that he maintains his privacy and safety. The members of the royal family take a number of precautions to ensure that his right to life is not violated in any way. The importance of striking a balance between public involvement and private protection cannot be overstated. This will allow him to develop in a manner that is at least somewhat normal while simultaneously fulfilling his future function. When Prince George reaches the age of 12 and beyond, his role adjustments will begin to take a newer and more significant direction. Because of his growing age and the ever-shifting nature of the monarchy, the regulations that govern his function will continue to develop over time. Everything has been methodically organized in order to ensure that he would be adequately prepared for his job as king, specifically in light of the fact that the portrayal of royal life is always shifting. The relationship between Queen Camilla and King Charles would appear to be quite similar to a fairy tale with a happy conclusion, despite the fact that it was initially fraught with scandals. Given that a divorce has been thought to be the most likely outcome, is it possible that this fairy tale could soon come to a close? But will this love be able to endure the test of time, just as it has in the past? In the comment box, you are free to express your opinion. It would be very appreciated if you would like and subscribe to this channel. Click on the video that is going to be presented on your screen before you go.